I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share it with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars.
Smackdown was okay. Triple H actually put in a little bit of thought and effort, which is appreciated. I actually like that. He needs to do more of it. This show, for the most part, was okay. Now, there was a lot of bad on this show, and we'll talk about it as per usual. But for the main angles of the show, the Cody Rhodes, the Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Gunther fiasco, as well as the Jey Uso stuff, that stuff there was fine. I like that. We all knew going into this show that Jey Uso and Charlotte Flair were going to win their respective King and Queen of the Ring matches. So why wouldn't they go to the finals? So, there's that. And, that was basically it. Everything else, I just really didn't care about. So, we're going to get into SmackDown from June the 19th, 2026. Happy Juneteenth. I just want to say that. So, we're going to get into SmackDown. So, we kick the show off with the first match of the night. Cody Rhodes defeats Gunther to retain the WWE Undisputed Championship. Sami Zayn was the special guest referee. And this match here was okay. They didn't do too much. Cody did his typical Cody Rhodes things. Cody and Gunther, they ended up trading chops and everything. Gunther ended up trying to do a couple of big boots in the match and everything else, a couple of clotheslines, scoop slams. Cody ended up hitting the crossroads. Gunther's foot was on the ropes. Sami saw it, so he called his count off, which was fine. The match continued on. So Gunther then gets into Sami's face. He shoves him at first, then he pie faces him. Then Sami Zayn slaps the shit out of Gunther. So then Sami Zayn's taken out by Gunther. Cody ends up hitting another Cody, a Cody cutter, followed by the crossroads. So there's no ref because Sami Zayn's out. A new ref comes in. So Gunther hits the powerbomb. He's about to win. Sami Zayn yanks the new ref out. He goes back in. Cody and Gunther, they ended up... Gunther was going to go for his sleeper. Cody countered that into a sunset flip. And Sami Zayn ended up doing a fast count. Cody Rhodes retains the championship. Gunther's pissed off. He's getting in Nick Aldis' face and everything else. And all hell begins to break loose. So Nick Aldis, Sami Zayn and Gunther, they're all yelling at each other and everything. So Cody Rhodes dips out. He wants a new referee to come out and restart the match. He didn't want things to end like this. So Sami says that his decision is final. Gunther beats the shit out of Sami Zayn. Gunther comes back down to the ramp again. He gets back into the ring, and Cody and Gunther, they have their second match. Cody locked in the sleeper. Gunther countered it, locked in a sleeper of his own. And Sami Zayn came out and broke it up and everything. Post-match, Gunther wins via DQ. Post-match, Sami Zayn hits Cody Rhodes with the belt, but he accidentally takes out Gunther as well. So there's that, setting up for a triple threat. So this is fine. We all knew this was going to happen anyway. I'm not mad at this. We all knew a triple threat match was going to happen anyway. I'm guessing Cody's going to retain. I don't see Sami Zayn winning in Saudi next weekend. I don't see it happening at Night of Champions. Again, they're saving that for Mania next year, WrestleMania 43 next year. So I don't expect for them to pull the trigger until then. So there's that. To me, this is fine. I don't have a problem with it. I knew this going in. I knew there was going to be some bullshit reason as to why Cody was going to retain. This was the best course of action that they could take. It is what it is. It's not really all that important. It sucks that Gunther, can't get a win. He's basically like a Drew McIntyre. And, there's that. And I don't expect for Gunther to win next weekend anyway at Night of Champions. So you might as well go ahead and say it's over for Gunther at this point in time. It's just over for him. So there's that. And I don't know how you could revive Gunther after this. So what's done is done. That's all I can say. What's done is done. But this was fine. It is what it is. The match itself was okay. Whatever. All right, moving on from that, this leads us into the baddies, Jade Cargill, B-Fab, and Mia Yim. So Jade Cargill says they run the division, but they're going to make a pit stop with Tiffany Stratton to make her pay for getting involved and costing Jade, the Queen of the Ring. She says, and seeing as Night of Champions needs some star power, she tells Tiffany to put the Women's United States Championship on the line so she can take it. Okay, that's fine. I actually like this. I figured they would do that anyway, since it's Night of Champions. I don't expect actually I do. I think Jade will end up winning at Night of Champions. I think that would make sense, if we're being honest. But the only reason it makes sense is because that way Tiffany can kind of be with Chelsea and be in, form a tag team. That'd be great. And I think that would be the best course of action for both Tiffany and Chelsea, right? Because Tiffany, she's really been there for about a year and some change. She's done quite a bit. I feel like it's time for her to fall back. She can still be on television weekly, as she basically always is, and just continue on with her and Chelsea as a tag team, right? Because I think they're going to end up pushing in due time Fatal Influence. I think they're going to end up pushing the New Girls on the Block. So, there's that. Moving on from that, this leads us into Gunther. So he's pissed off. He's yelling at Nick Aldis, saying that he screwed him twice, and he claims the only reason he's not champion is because Nick Aldis isn't fit for his job. Nick Aldis reminds him that Gunther picked Sami Zayn, and so Gunther, he demands another title shot, and then that was it. Okay, whatever. What the fuck ever. Moving on, this leads us into Solo Sikoa. He's backstage with Jacob Fatu, telling him to tell Roman Reigns the answer to whether he'll come back to Roman is no. Jacob Fatu says he's not here for that. He's here to make sure nobody gets involved in the MFT's title match tonight. But yes, he thinks Solo Sikoa is making the wrong choice. He's been away for way too long, and he's coming. And he's running out of time to make the right choice. Solo asks Jacob what the hell he means, and Solo tells him he knows. And I'm confused as fuck about all this. So Tama Tonga and Tala Tonga, they roll up, a.k.a. Hikuleo. Tama asks, what was that all about? Solo says, it's just Roman's nonsense, and now they're going to win those tag team titles. Tonga tells him no, he's staying in the back, so his family business doesn't have to interfere with their family business. And if Solo comes out, there's no telling who might interfere. So Solo protests, but Tala tells him point blank that Bloodline business isn't their business, but the tag team titles are. Who gives a shit about any of this? I sure don't. Moving on, this leads us into another Mariah May hype vignette. This is like her third or fourth one. And then she talks about Julia. So basically, it seems like she's going to be going after all the women on the roster. It makes no sense. This is dumb. Get her on television. Get her in a fucking feud with somebody and keep it moving. I am a massive fan of vignettes, but you do not need a vignette every single fucking week for the entire, you don't need a vignette every single fucking week to put over Mariah May. Get her on television. Get her in the ring. Get her doing something with somebody. Right? This is ridiculous. Unless she's going to debut when they go back to London. Maybe that's where they wanted to debut her, because they're going to be in London next week. So Raw and SmackDown are going to be on earlier, which is fine. So maybe that's when they're going to end up debuting her there. That's fine. But if that was the case, you didn't need to really do anything with her until then. My thing is, you could have kept her in NXT until you really needed to bring her up. Because she's been doing vignettes for, about 3-4 weeks now. And it's annoying. And I'm a big Mariah May fan. I like her. But damn, Triple H. Come on, man. You should already have plans set for her. But he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Moving on, this leads us into Damian Priest and R-Truth. They retain the tag team titles against the MFTs. I didn't even give a fuck about this match. Didn't even really watch it. Moving on, because I don't care. This leads us, Sol Sikoa and Tama Tonga, they're still, having beef, basically. Whatever. I don't care about any of this nonsense. Moving on, this leads us into Sami Zayn. He is talking to Johnny Gargano once again. And again, this has been going on for 8-9 months now. Johnny Gargano just sitting there laying on a crate lifelessly, doing nothing. So Nick Aldis, he shows up. He berates Sami Zayn for the fastest count in wrestling history. Sami Zayn says he never wanted this. He caught it right down the middle. Nick Aldis complains that he attacked Gunther. Sami Zayn says he got attacked first, and everybody expects him to screw Cody, but he didn't. And in fact, Cody should be here thanking him for this. He didn't ask to be in the middle of this, but he's not going away that easy. Okay, this is fine. But Johnny Gargano is getting on my last fucking nerve. He's getting on my nerves with this shit. Triple H needs to put Johnny Gargano somewhere. I don't care where you put him. You can put him on Raw. You can send him to AAA. You can put him back down to NXT. You can put him on Evolve. Put Johnny Gargano somewhere and keep him there. Do something with Johnny Gargano. What the fuck is going on? This shit's been going on for 8 months. This has been going on since December. It is now June. And we're still doing this shit. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Put him some fucking where and keep him there. It's simple as that. Fuck. This is so lame. Moving on. This leads us into main event Jey Uso He's backstage. He says that he's going to breeze past Javon Evans and win King of the Ring and go straight on to Cody Rhodes. So Javon Evans shows up. He says that he knows he's looking past him, but he's a big fan, and he wishes him luck. He calls him Unk. So Jay takes issue with being called Unk and says he's going to teach him a lesson tonight. Okay, whatever, that's fine. I don't understand why Jey Uso would be mad about that. He's like, what, 41, 42? Come on, bro. Get with it, bro. Get real, dog. All right, moving on. This leads us into a very good match. Carmelo Hayes is defeated by Ricky Saints. So Ricky Saints is the new number one contender. He's going to be facing Trick Williams at Night of Champions. This match was very, very good. Both guys brought it. They traded multiple roll-ups back and forth. Carmelo ended up doing a beautiful O'Connor roll. And what else did he do in this match? He ends up hitting the code breaker, the first 48. He was about to try to do the nothing but net, but Ricky, I think, took off the turnbuckle pad and just threw him straight into the turnbuckle pad, and that was it. 1, 2, 3, and now it's going to be Ricky Saints versus Trick Williams for the U.S. Championship at Night of Champions. And I'm not mad at this. This is fine. This makes sense. Interesting stuff here. Heel versus heel. Even though they're trying to make Trick a babyface, Trick is still kind of heel at times. But this is fine. But what do you do with Carmelo now? Now that he's out of the picture, what do you do with him? So, your guess is as good as mine. Moving on from that, this leads us into Cody Rhodes. He's backstage talking to Nick Aldis. Cody says he understands the situation that Gunther's put him in, but catering to him and Sami Zayn is getting old, and he wants a trip up there at Night of Champions. So Nick Aldis is the only one who can make it official, and he does. And so there's that. It is what it is. It's official. It was easy. It was that easy. I guarantee they're probably going to end up doing a quote-unquote contract signing next week. Well, no, I doubt it. They might, but I doubt they will do I doubt that they'll do that next week. I doubt that they'll do a contract signing. So, whatever. I don't care about it. We all know that this was going to happen. Moving on. This leads us into Charlotte Flair. She's interviewed backstage by, I guess, Kathy Kelly or whatever. She says she's done it all, but the hunger hasn't faded. She said she hadn't won a world title in a few years, which is true, but if she wins this crown, if she becomes Queen of the Ring, she'll be back on the mountaintop at SummerSlam and win her 15th world title. Tonight, Liv Morgan might be trouble, but Charlotte Flair will show her why she's still the queen, then, now, and forever. Okay, whatever. That's fine, I guess. Do I care? Nah, not really. Moving on, this leads us into Danhausen. So he's in his lab. He's got Kit Wilson and The Miz wired up to a machine. And he begins to press buttons and makes them say their catchphrases, which is hilarious. So Los Garza, they show up and they demand their money back since Danhausen didn't curse the Knicks. Danhausen says, too bad. He spent all that money. So Los Garzas, they attack him. Matt Cardona's sorry ass, he shows up and says, if they got a problem with Danhausen, they got a problem with him, and then they run off. Okay, that's fine. So Danhausen thanks Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona tells him, my bad. Danhausen calls Matt Cardona Zack Ryder. He tells him that his name is Matt. He touches Miz's helmet and he gets shocked. And he says, woo, woo, woo. And Danhausen says, ask if he's okay, and he says, you know it. Okay. Whatever. I I don't give a damn about this. This is fine, so whatever. Moving on, this leads us into Finn Balor. He rolls up to chat with R-Truth, who has a plan about getting a title against Rikishi. Finn Balor says he doesn't need Ron's help, but Truth says once you Judgment Day, your Judgment Day for life. Damian Priest shows up. R-Truth says that he's ready to go water polo with him to celebrate, but Damian Priest says he doesn't go places with people he can't trust, and then he leaves. So R-Truth isn't sure if he means him or Finn. Okay, whatever, that's fine. Moving on, Jey Uso defeats Javon Evans, so he advances in the King of the Ring final, which is fine. It's going to be Jey and Oba, which is fine. This match was very, very solid. Javon is very agile, very good. Jey ends up winning via the spear, so it is what it is. I thought the LA Knight was going to get involved and cost Jey Uso, but that didn't happen here. I wish it would have, but it is what it is. I am scared what they're going to do. They might have Jey actually beat Oba. And if that occurs, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm going to fucking lose my shit. Moving on. This leads us into another Sikoa Jacob Fatu chat, basically. Soloa says that he has it all figured out. Roman sent Jacob so he can get in his head and mess with his family. And he tells Jacob to tell Roman that maybe he's going to send his family to Roman's show and mess with his family. Oh my God, what the fuck? Moving on, this leads us into Julia. She had a vignette talking about her breakup with Kiana James and setting up her match with her next week in London. Okay, that's fine. Moving on, this leads us into Tiffany Stratton. She's backstage. She says some standard stuff about Jade Cargill's challenge. So Chelsea Green shows up to interrupt and talks about how great they're going to be together. Tiffany complains that she's called her names and watched people beat her up for a year and suddenly she wants to be friends. Chelsea says she never called Tiffany names. Tiffany reminds her of one and says that it's a term of endearment, but Tiffany Stratton is done with her and then she walks off. Okay, that's fine, whatever. Moving on, this leads us into Brie Bella and Paige. They talk about how they're going to beat Lyra and Bayley on Monday. Okay, whatever. I don't care about this. Moving on. Fatal Influence, they're on this show. So Jessie Jane cuts a promo about complaining about how the referee ejected her from ringside last week while letting Brie Bella and Paige do whatever they want. Laney Reed says they're the champs beat, and if they come out of Raw with the tag team titles, Fatal Influence will be right there to get another shot. JC says she's going to go and get a match against Paige next week to show her what happens when she messes with their influence. Okay, that's fine, whatever. This is fine. Moving on, Jey Uso, he runs into Cody Rhodes backstage. Cody congratulates Jey on the win and says one to go. Jey says it's one to go, and then comes the Blitz. Cody tells him not to forget about Obafemi, and Cody says he's easy to find, hard to beat. Whatever. So Jey is interrupted by Sami Zayn. Jey asks him about crashing out tonight. Sami Zayn says never mind that. He thinks Jey Uso's doing great, and he's going to win King of the Ring. He's going to wrestle the WWE champion. It's just he thinks it's not going to be Cody Rhodes. It's going to be him. He asked Jey what what they do. I mean, what are they going to do when that happens? And Jey Uso says Sami Zayn knows him, and he'll do what he has to do. Okay. And then Sami Zayn is kind of flustered by this and tells him to say hello to the family. Talking about the bloodline. Okay, whatever. Moving on, this leads us into Charlotte Flair. Jade Cargill, whatever. Jade Cargill tells her the only reason she won the first round match is because her friend interfered. Charlotte Flair says Tiffany isn't her friend, and maybe Jade just needs more effective friends. And anyway, she can just be Queen of the Ring next year. So there's that. Okay, that's fine. Main event of the evening, Charlotte Flair gets attacked by B-Fab and Michin, a.k.a. Mia Yim. So she's hurt. So she ends up defeating Liv Morgan. So Charlotte Flair... No, my bad. Liv Morgan actually ends up winning. So this is insane. This was interesting. My bad. I wasn't even paying attention. My bad. So Liv Morgan actually wins. So I actually like this. This is smart. So maybe they could do Liv Rhea championship versus championship. I don't know. Maybe. It is what it is. So I don't know. I like this. This is interesting, I guess. So, there's that. All in all, Smackdown was okay. Cody, Gunther, Sami, triple threat, that's fine. Who cares? Jey winning, we all knew that was going to happen. And Liv Morgan winning was a surprise. So, there's that. But all in all, Smackdown was okay. But what did you guys think? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.